I happen to be making some bean pupusas today also, so I thought I would just do a video on how I make the refried beans for the inside. I usually make, boil beans and then we use those, but I wasn't planning ahead to make bean ones, so I'm just going to use canned beans. So I am going to take 2 cans of beans with the juice and just a piece of bell pepper. I normally use green bell peppers, but Aldi's was out of green peppers today, so I bought just a multicolored one, so I'm going to use a orange pepper. I have my beans in there with all the juice, just the piece of the pepper in there, shove it in there, and I'm going to just blend this up. The next step is to fry some onions in oil. Just kind of guess about the oil. There's probably maybe 3 tablespoons in there right now. You can always add a little more if you need it. You can use canola oil or olive oil. I use light tasting olive oil just because I always have that on hand. And I didn't cut the onions real fine because I'm going to take them out. I'm just going to cook the onions in the oil to flavor it first. And then I'm going to take the onion pieces out. I have fried the onions and taken them out of the oil, and now I am putting in the blended beans. Let's get everything out of there. We're going to mix them real good so the oil gets mixed around inside, and then we are going to just leave them to cook without touching them. So we'll leave them to kind of simmer for about 3 minutes and then give them a stir. 3 more minutes, give them a stir like that. You don't need to stir them a lot because you really want them to thicken up. So we're just going to leave them to cook for a few minutes here. I'll stir them a little more to mix in the oil, and then we'll leave them. Also, I'm just going to sprinkle in a little garlic powder, not like a ton, just a little bit for a little garlic flavor in there. They're starting to simmer here a bit, so I might give them a little stir right now. It's been just a little under 3 minutes probably, but we'll give them a little stir. It's probably on like medium high heat right now. And we'll leave them alone again. It's been 3 minutes and it's kind of starting to bubble. I'm going to stir it now. I have a terrible time waiting this long to stir it when it looks like this, but it's going to start to get kind of like chunky at the bottom, and that's good. That's what we want, for it to start doing that. So we're stir again. Like I said, I have a terrible time leaving it without stirring for this long. I always want to over stir it, but we want it to just sit and get thick, so I might turn it down a little bit now that the heat's going good, and we'll leave it for a few more minutes again. Alright, now it's starting to get bubbly. I've stirred it a few times, but so it's been more than 3 minutes, but I am stirring again here now that it's really starting to get thicker. And then we're really getting like good thick beans there, so I'll leave it a little longer. Now it's starting to get really thick, so I'm not going to leave it too much longer because it will thicken as it cools, so I'll probably just leave it a few more minutes and then we'll stop. Alright, they've gotten nice and thick. We've gotten a lot of the moisture out of them, so I'm going to turn the heat off. They should thicken up a lot as they cool. If for some reason they are still too liquidy once I go to make the pupusas, I can always cook them a little more, but they should be fine by then.